And then we get to my corner, and he said, "Don't you live here?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, good night." I was like, "Oh, we're not going to go eat?" He was like, "Oh, that place closed at 6. I'm going to go to Whole Foods and grab something." Okay. This was the most humiliating moment of my life.
Somebody left this comment and I thought it was really interesting because she said, now those men that get on those podcasts and talk about women, the Kevin Samuels of the world, are going to bash me.
You just don't want to do it, because especially if you've been single for a long time, I'm motherfucking tired. I'm tired.
It's like I'm just partying every single weekend. And I'm gonna have to party tomorrow, and then I'm gonna have to party in 2 weeks from now.
A few moments later.
At what age did you wake up and realize that you no longer wanted to be a strong, Black, independent woman? And this can apply to white women and men as well, because I've definitely heard this term coined by a lot of people. But for me, it was about 6 months ago. I legit woke up, realized that I've slayed all of my goals. I have my career, I have my house, I have the car, I have everything else, and I don't want it anymore. If you can't relate to what I'm saying, then you can't relate to what I'm saying. But for me, at 32, and a couple more months left till I'm 33, I realized that my priorities are changing. And now I want to be a housewife. I want to raise children. I don't want responsibilities. I don't want to have a mortgage. Actually, I do want a mortgage, but I don't want it to be in my name. I honestly want to relinquish responsibility to an able-bodied man. Keyword, able-bodied man. And this is such a new thing for me, and this is epiphany, and this is something that I've been struggling with, that I would get to the point in my life where I no longer identified as a strong Black independent woman.
It is so interesting how women can just feel the need to say, "Oh, my priorities has changed." It's like, oh, why have they changed now? Because you know that wall is coming.
And it's crazy because I remember growing up, or in my 20s, I would hear of women who would go out, they would seek these fabulous careers, attorneys, doctors, lawyers, whatever it is, whatever they wanted. And then all of a sudden, they would get married and they would give it all up. And I used to think, what the actual... Who does all this to give it up to be a stay-at-home mother? And then I turned 32 and a half. And I realized it is I. I am that woman. I yearn to be a stay-at-home mom. I no longer want to take on all the responsibilities. I want to delegate it to a man. I want to live a soft life. And a small part of me feels like I've worked for that. I've proven to myself, I feel like I've proven to my parents, I've proven to the world that I can do it. And now that that has been proven, I no longer want it. And at 32, I think men have reached their peak of whatever it is that they do, and they've caught up. And I think that I'm finally comfortable with letting them take the lead. I just need a applicant. Does anybody else feel that way? Am I the only one that feels that way? Sound off below.
What most importantly strikes me about this woman is, just like some Black women, not all, but she really don't recognize her value placement in the sexual marketplace. She's a nice looking woman and look like she can clean up well if she really wanted to, but you're not going to be able to compete out here with a lot of women who just, simply look better than you. But she definitely strikes me as a woman who will date outside of her race. So I think that'll probably be the best route for her to just find her a Chad, because it's really going to take a patient man to deal with her Valley Girl speech. Because I know a lot of men that are just like me, and eventually we're going to get tired of hearing her voice all day. And look, guys, I thought this was funny too, that this post that she did kind of went viral. So somebody let her know that men on YouTube like me are going to be making videos about her, and the post that she did This is what she had to say about it.
So this morning I posted a video about how at the ripe old age of 32, I decided I no longer wanted to be a strong Black independent woman anymore. I've been there, I done it. It was great. I'm over it now. I'm 32. I'm ready for soft life. I'm ready for a man to take care of me. I'm ready to the next chapter. I'm ready to be a housewife. And you know what? Somebody left this comment and I thought it was really interesting because she said now, those men that get on those podcasts and talk about women, the Kevin Samuels of the world, are going to bash me. As a woman, I think that we have the privilege to change our minds. And for a man to be angry about this, I think that probably comes from a place of hate or anger because they can't. Because as a woman, I can choose to work really hard, accomplish all this, and then also use my pretty privilege to get this without lifting a finger. Sometimes people are angry about this. Some women can attain all of this and never lay a finger, never do anything, because a man will gladly provide it for them. And ladies, that is the beauty of being a woman. And we should bask in it. We should embrace it. And there's nothing to be ashamed of about it. And I feel like there's nothing to be ashamed of in regards to having a change of opinion. What is wrong with that?
And what trips me out a lot of times about these women that are approaching the wall and approaching the wall fast, they start making all these social media posts talking about they're ready to be in a relationship, they're ready to be a wife. But the rub is always that they need that man to make a certain amount of money. And if that man make a high amount of money, it is always truly interesting to see what women will put up with just to get one. Check this out.
I went on a coffee date this morning with a man who lives in my neighborhood. We met while we were walking our dogs, and we chatted a few times before he asked me out to coffee. And then our date this morning actually lasted for quite a long time, especially for a coffee date. And at one point I asked him if there were only 20 minutes left before the world ended, what would you do? And he was like, I don't know. Probably try to have sex with you. I just was not expecting that answer at all. And I bust out laughing and told him that. Especially because he hadn't hit on me or anything like that. Like, we just had like normal friendly conversation, so it didn't even feel like he was trying to make a pass at me. Like, just like an honest answer, like that's what's on his mind right there at that moment, which honestly, it was flattering. I liked it. I regret to inform y'all that everybody who was commenting about red flags was correct. This man was a fucking lunatic. So from our very first coffee date, which I'm about to expose myself, this man did not even buy my coffee the first time we met up, and I did all these mental gymnastics about why he might not have done that. He didn't because he's a cheap bastard. Okay, girls, don't ever gaslight yourself into. You see, this is why it's taken me a long time to provide this update, because it's embarrassing for me too. Yeah, so from that point forward, he did not ask me out or attempt to take me out ever again. He would hit my line constantly, offering to go on a walk together or asking me to hang out. And at one point, when he suggested we hang out, I was like, why don't we hit the beach? He said he had a meeting in the afternoon, so we should hang out at his pool instead. At my big age, I knew better than to say yes to hanging out at his place. But he lives in the nicest condo on my street, so I was like, fuck it.
You hear that? She said she knew better than to go to his place and hang out, but due to the fact that he had the nicest condo on the block, she bypassed all those red flags in her head.
At my big age, I knew better than to say yes to hanging out at his place, but he lives in the nicest condo on my street, so I was like, fuck it. So we're at his pool. Unsurprisingly, he's touchy-feely, kissy-kissy, smoochy-smoochy. Asked me if I'm hungry, which surprised me. But I'm like, okay, it's a good sign. Maybe we can come back from not buying my coffee day one. So I told him, yeah, but I want to hang out in the hot tub for a little bit. So we talk in the hot tub for a long time. Then out of nowhere, he's like, I need to walk my dog at a certain point. Like, damn, okay, ninja, like, let's go walk her. So we're walking his sweet dog, no shade to her. I miss her. And then we get to my corner and he said, don't you live here? I was like, yeah. He's like, well, good night. I was like, oh. We're not going to go eat? He was like, oh, that place closed at 6. I'm going to go to Whole Foods and grab something. Okay. This was the most humiliating moment of my life. And again, it should have ended right there. I literally wanted to cry when I got home because I have never had a man do something like that to me. And y'all, I had decided it's over. I'm never talking to this ninja again. But then he watched my TikTok, the original one, and texted me that night and said, so when is the world ending? In other words, when are you going to let me hit? Which I was just flabbergasted by this. Like, bro, you have not even offered me so much as a glass of water. But this was intriguing to me, to be honest. Like, I've never had a man act like this, so I'm just playing along with it. I'm like, let's see how much more ridiculous this can get. He did not disappoint. He continues to text me all the time, all while never trying to make any semblance of a real plan. Until finally, one fateful night, he hits my line and says, let's do coffee tomorrow. And at this point, I've had it. I'm done, people. Like, so I asked him straight up, are you actually going to get mine this time? This man sends me back a screenshot of a meme that I liked at some point on Instagram that said, accidentally showed too much of my personality. He sent me a screenshot of that and even edited the screenshot to circle my name where I have liked this message. I was like, oh wow, I've never had somebody pull up my liked meme receipts before. And he said, it's just Instagram feeding me ammo. I was like, ammo? Like, you need to defend yourself from spending $6 on me? I told him, I'm not used to guys who want to have sex with me acting like this. And he said, what do you prefer? So I literally broke it down for this ninja. I felt so embarrassed writing these messages out where I explained to him, like, I want to go on dates that are planned in advance and progress from coffee. Like, it should get more fun and exciting as things go on. You know what I'm saying? This man said, understand your position. Respect it. We're just not a match. When I tell you I was stunned into silence, I was fucking stunned. We're not a match because I want to go on dates. It still sends me every time I think about it. Like, what the fuck? So, after I got a hold of myself, I just responded and said, this is why they say coffee on the first date is a red flag in the first place. And I guess that made him mad because he instantly turned his notifications off. I thought that was going to be the end of it. We're never going to see each other or talk to each other. But nah, he replied to me the next morning and said, this is why they say a woman who can be bought isn't worth having. Oh, I can be bought because I want you to take me on dates, bro? Like, that. This why I said he's a fucking lunatic. Are you for real? I told him, you're not going to gaslight me into being your free hooker, bro. And then he replied and said, I'm looking for someone genuine. Clearly we aren't aligned. Enjoy Miami. I told him it's too bad he's going to miss out on her because he's selfish and entitled.
Yeah, guys, you heard that right. She took the time out to reply back to him after all that and say, oh, you're going to miss out on her meeting her box. And secretly, the way she was just laughing, I think she wanted this man to get her box.
I told him it's too bad he's going to miss out on her because he's selfish and entitled. I mean, truly, I have never, ever, ever encountered a man who wouldn't even take me on one date. Not even one. This is a first. And let me add that this man never shuts the fuck up about his money. Allegedly, he's a millionaire. So, I don't know what his problem is. I really don't. But all the comments saying that he was problematic were right. And I'm sorry, I thought it was going to be all cute and shit too. Back to the drawing board TikTok. Wish me luck, because it's fucking ugly out here. I hope you see this, Lawrence.
And this lady here was definitely interesting. She's down there in Miami, and we can all pretty much see that this woman is pretty average at best. But I don't think she realized that she's in a very aggressive dating market. If this man is living the lifestyle that she's describing, it sounds like the guy's pretty well off. He's probably dating Miami 10s and 9s. 10s and 9s in a small town are different versus Miami 10s and 9s. You guys know what I'm trying to say. So I think this woman is pretending to act shocked at this man's particular behavior, dating in Miami, Florida. Like, come on.
I just want to come on here and be real with y'all for a second. That, like, I know we joke around and kiki on here, but, like, there is a part of the single life where, it's not all glitz and glam and whatever. Like, at times, sometimes, not all the time, this shit is very frustrating. It gets annoying, especially if you think you found someone and it's not your person, and then you have to put yourself back out there, be vulnerable again. It is annoying. It is frustrating. Sometimes you want to break your damn phone. You want to delete the apps. You want to block the numbers. Like,
We definitely appreciate this lady here for keeping it real and honest, because that is the truth that a lot of these women would not say. They know it sucks out here for dating, just like it sucks out here for most men that are dating. And just like we always talk about on this channel, guys, we're going to see more posts of these women coming out telling the truth. But she went on to explain a little more. Check this out.
and there's this other trend going around where it's like, oh, you're single. Does that mean you're lonely? And then people stitch all the videos of them like living life and having the best time. I live my life and have my best time too, but there are times where I do feel lonely in this single girl journey. There are times where like your desire to have someone is heightened more than at other times. You like, damn, this shit is ass. Like there's no other way to put it. Especially if you're like the single girl in your friend group and you see everyone else like getting married, starting families. And it's just like, I know your friends probably don't feel that way about you, but you kind of think about it yourself like, damn, they probably looking at me like, poor girl. You know, like, your man gonna come, boo. Is he? Because I'm feeling like, I don't know, my package is missing and I don't have the tracking number.
It is truly funny how different everybody thinks at 30 and 40 versus when they was 20 years old about wanting a relationship with a man. It's like in their 20s, they don't need no man. They living their best life. They don't want to get married. They independent. But as soon as these women hit 30, 35, they will always change their entire tune. Why she just won't admit that she fell for the feminist playbook when in reality, these women's natural longings and instincts become very much stronger as they age, and that instinct is to have kids, to be a mother. Why does so many women in their 30s and 40s want to all of a sudden become a traditional housewife?
You wanna know why a lot of y'all asses is probably still single? On a serious note, because nothing ever satisfies you. There are a lot of nice gentlemen out here doing and executing what you supposedly claim that you want a man to do, but you're deeming it invalid because he's not giving Chris Brown or Trey Songz or Drake or all these people that you see on social media. I'm okay with having preferences, but y'all keep crying wolf, and there are men literally out here doing it. That's some shitty shit, okay? Why are you deeming him invalid? He's the nice guy, right? You're deeming him invalid because why? He doesn't make enough. He's not rough enough. He don't check you the way you want to get checked. That sounds diabolical as fuck. Realistically speaking, your demands aren't being met because you're not deeming anything worthy enough. So what do you want men to do if nothing's ever going to be enough?
That's why I'm glad to see other women calling women out, because this is what men have been saying for decades. Modern Western women are just hard to please. Enough is never enough. Even if a man meet the standard that they're setting, they always got to move the goalposts. But anyways, I don't want to go into a rant about that because you know I will. But you guys drop a comment down below, and you guys definitely let me know what you think about the young lady in Miami. And also, a lot of you guys are not actually subscribed to the channel, so make sure you hit that subscribe button on your way out. Like the video. Thanks for watching to the end. I will see you in the next video.